excuse me, give it up one more time for the Roddenberries. All right, we've got another wonderful list of and really interesting people to talk with today. So excited to have these guys aboard. So without further ado, let's bring out Hana Hatae. Obviously, things are kind of crazy in our world right now, and so everyone is here, and it feels like one big reunion for like this crazy family that we've created. It makes me emotional getting to see everybody again. Well said, Isa. Thank you.
This is my first time here, so this is really a new experience. The first time this year, you didn't let me finish. The first time in Vegas this year. I look forward to this every year. This is like a homecoming for me. Just being around family, reuniting with friends, and just getting together with everybody. It's great talking with everyone and sharing hugs. I think one thing I learned a lot from this pandemic experience we all went through was how much I really dislike social distancing. So this is social intimacy, and I appreciate it a lot. So this is a special thing that we can all cherish as we move forward in life.
Absolutely agree. Also well said. McKenzie.
This is actually my very first convention ever, and I owe it all to my dad. This is amazing. I love it. Oh, so cute. To memorize to document my first convention. So yeah, this is amazing. Everybody's so wonderful. Like you said, I couldn't agree more. It's so nice to be able to hug people and shake hands and just say hi. And it's like old home for me. I mean, I've known so many of these people since I was 8 years old. So this is old home.
It is wonderful to have you here, McKenzie. Thank you. Along with the rest of the family, obviously. Welcome Michael Westmore in the front row here.
Mike Westmore, ladies and gentlemen, the legend.
The legend. Michael Westmore. All right. Penelope Mitchell.
Hi.
Welcome.
It's working. Excellent. I know. Hi guys. This is like McKenzie, this is my first ever Trek convention. I'm actually so comfortable I kind of want to sit with my legs crossed. These seats are really deep. It's very comfortable seats. So I'm really psyched to be here, and I similarly feel my family I grew up in a household full of people that love this franchise. So I guess there was an inevitability that I would end up working on it. Not really, I'm so jazzed that it ended up happening.
have you here. And Hana, welcome. Welcome back.
Thank you. So I've been coming almost 10 years now to these conventions, and thank you. Every time it is, like, each time is better than the last. It's always a fun time. It's friends, it's family up here, family down there. It's just always an amazing experience, and I am so happy to be here again with all of you and everyone on stage as well. And I hope we can provide a good time for everybody.
We definitely are. So, some questions for each of you. Isa, you are a phenomenal singer.
Thank you.
Just, I remember hearing you at Star Trek Day a couple of years ago and was absolutely blown away. Tell us about, and you're singing tonight.
Yes, I am. Come to the gala tonight. It's at 9 p.m. I wish I could say where it is. I think it was.
It's right here.
It's here.
It's right here.
Everybody, you heard it here first. But yeah, I'm going to be singing a couple songs with the Action Figures Band, and yeah, you should come. It's going to be a great party.
Yeah, it's going to be a good lineup. Tim Russ is singing, the Action Figures. You all know and love Greg Grunberg. Greg put this band together, and it's a lot of fun. I'm getting to do a number, and we'll have a blast.
Yeah.
So tell me more about your music. When did you start? It must have been early on in your career. You're so beautifully trained. Tell us more about your music.
Thank you. So my parents are musical theater actors, and ever since I was born on tour. My dad was doing Miss Saigon, and that's actually a show that my parents were doing when they met. And so I grew up just touring around, growing up backstage. My earliest memories were trick-or-treating to the different dressing rooms and doing schoolwork back there while I heard my dad singing. My dad obviously is a wonderful singer, and my mom has a beautiful voice, and she was my first vocal coach. She's right there. Give her a shout out, Megan Briones. She's the best. But yeah, she was my first vocal teacher, and from then on, I was given the musical theater bug, and grew up around the house, hearing my parents sing all the beautiful love ballads to each other, and then I started doing musical theater myself, and my first kind of bigger production was I was honored to be on the first national tour of Hamilton. And that was really just so valuable, and that was my first time. I didn't go to college, so that to me was my education. And I got to see the U.S. and then after that got to enter into this beautiful world with all of you. But yeah, it's always just kind of snowballed in that way, and it's always been through the lens of theater. But now I'm starting to kind of branch out into trying to write my own music, and I know a lot of you have come up to the booth and have said, release a CD, and I promise I'm trying. It's just nerve-wracking and scary, so I'm working on it, but yeah.
That is so wonderful. Yeah, wow. I have one more question. So, many more questions, but for what we have time for, tell me first, what was it like being on the first national tour of Hamilton? Wow.
Yeah, no, that was pretty crazy. When I got that, I was 19 years old, and I was the youngest principal actor in the show at the time. And I played Peggy Mariah, and I got to understudy Eliza. And it was one of those things that the show had come out only a couple years before, and I was listening to the soundtrack like so many of us were, just over and over again, memorizing the lyrics, obsessed with it, and thinking, oh, this is my dream show, and one day, maybe in 10 years, I can be a part of it. And 2 years later, I was there, and I just kept pinching myself. It was just the most unbelievable experience, getting to do something like that, being with other actors who love what they do so much, and we're representing diversity in this country, and diversity in not only in race, but in gender, in sexuality, and just in who we are as a people. And we got to showcase that every night and actually witness people's minds opening and changing. And it doesn't happen overnight, but it's one of those shows that you get to meet people after, and they're like, whoa, I never thought of it like that before, or never saw someone like you up on stage before, or I would meet other like half Filipino girls who come up and be like, I was so excited when I saw that, like, we're the same, I got to see myself in you, and that's a really rare gift, obviously to be given, but also for me to get to be a part of that. So yeah, I cannot say enough wonderful things about that experience.
That is so wonderful. Thank you for sharing all of that. We'll come back to you with more questions later, each of you. Cirroc, you're just such an inspiration. Everybody loves you so much. I mean, right, you're the kid we grew up with, and now it's wonderful to see you doing other things. And I think we're okay to talk about T7R, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, so the Seventh Rule is one of the best loved podcasts around. And you created it from the ground up with our beloved Aaron Eisenberg. We love you, Aaron. Say it.
We love you, Aaron.
We love you, Aaron. So tell us about that experience of putting something like that together that grows and starts as a dream and an idea, and now you've got this incredible fan base that's really on fire. Tell us more about the whole experience.
Yeah, I'm going to give all the credit to the late, great Aaron Eisenberg. He's the one that came up with the idea. He's the one that said we need to create a platform where we can reach out and talk with our fans and have a really close relationship with them. He's always set a really high standard of meeting and interacting with people. I've always watched him at his table, taking time with people, and really getting to make a personal connection. And that was one thing I admired about how he conducts himself at these conventions. And when he reached out and said, hey, let's do a podcast, my first thought was, what is a podcast? And he's like, I've heard of it, but is it audio? I don't really know. And he was like, no, we can do it. And I was reluctant about doing it in the beginning. I was like, I have to watch Star Trek, I thought I did it already, I have to go watch it. And it was like a job at first, like, oh, I have to do this, I have to get it right. And then it became something as I got more familiar with the shows and started watching it and getting into the stories and analyzing the directing and the makeup and all of this stuff. And I started to say, oh wow, this is actually good. No wonder you guys like this stuff. This is good. And the stories that we tell, the opportunity that we have as actors to be able to tell stories that touch people's lives, that help them go through problems that they go through, deal with emotional issues, deal with love and relationships. That's the gift that we've been given. And as I watch these shows and go on the journey of the Seventh Rule podcast, it's been watching the shows, understanding the vision that Gene Roddenberry had about, this diverse coalition of people getting together to explore not only the universe, but each other and ourselves. And the idea of not judging people based on their physical appearances and judging them based on who they are as people inside, what they do, their actions, and their words. And so I've been blessed to go along this journey and this path to really understand that I work with some amazing, talented people that were the best of the best at what they do, all up and down the chain of the cast and crew on that call sheet. And it's a humbling thing to know that my success has been really generated by the giants who I've been surrounded by. And I've been fortunate enough to have that experience and be close and elevated by other people's talent and other people's greatness. And that's why I just sat back and I do my learning, I do my observing, and I'm more and more appreciative of all of the work everybody did. Chase, I watched you, I watched everybody on our shows, all of you, and all of these shows. Just the work that you guys do, the stories that you tell, that's been the great reward for me, and also meeting all of the people that are part of the seventh rule, and all of you out there that have brought your individual perspectives to the stories and told me about how you've been dealing with issues and how this particular thing helped you in life, or how this episode helped you deal with the loss of a loved one, or how this particular thing helped you have a closer relationship with your father or with your parent. And so those stories kind of have made it even more fulfilling and enriched my life in so many ways. So it's been an absolute blessing, and I thank Aaron for giving me this gift. I initially thought I was doing him a favor, and it turned out he was actually doing me one, and I'll always thank him for that gift.
Beautiful. So beautiful, Cirroc. Your genuineness has just always been so beautiful to be around, and we've known you since you were a kid, and it's always been that way. And if you're not yet part of the Seventh Rule community, I would say definitely become a part, because that's really one gift that you have, in addition to obviously you're being a wonderful actor and a wonderful host, but your ability to create a space where people come together, get to know each other. We've seen friendships form between people there that have meant so much to so many people, and it's one of the ways that this show goes so far beyond being just a show. Thank you, Cirroc. Beautiful work.
Thank you.
Yay. McKenzie, also, we knew you since when? I mean, it's just lovely getting to be a part of your family and seeing the pride on your father's face when he sees the work that you do, and it goes right, obviously, back to him. You're part of this amazing family and legacy that started when the world of entertainment began. Tell me what that's like. I'm sure it's wow.
And that's all the time we have.
Yeah, exactly. Your ancestors from beyond. I'm sure this is a question everyone asks you, but I gotta ask, how is it being part of this legacy that has been around since the beginning of motion picture?
It's still surreal for me. It still doesn't quite sit in because my family, all of us, I always say, we all wake up the same way with one foot in front of the other, the same way. We're all the same. For those that don't know, my family started in the industry of hair and makeup. My great grandfather was the wig maker to the royal court, and Winston Churchill's barber. And then at the early 1900s, came over to the United States as silent films were going. If I'm telling you correctly, Dad, correct if I'm wrong. I'm like, okay, thumbs up, I'm good so far. Adolphe Monjou was in Three Musketeers and shaved off part of his mustache. Went into my family, sewed together a piece of hair lace wig, glued it on, and that's when they said, okay, actors, you can't do makeup. We need somebody to do it for you. So that was the birth of a makeup artist in Hollywood. And I always looked at that, and it didn't quite click for me, obviously, as a kid, but as I got older, and I remember LA Times calling my dad the last of the living dinosaurs, because he was the last one to sketch, conceptualize, put the makeup on, and when I saw that as a 16-year-old, I was like, I hated that. The last of the living dinosaurs, because it's now compartmentalized. And I thought, I gotta carry the name on somehow. So I thought maybe through soap operas I do it. So I did that for 10 years, well, not so much. Then we did a show together called Face Off. And that was, that's when the light bulb really went on, because, and also Patrick Tatopoulos, my husband, is here, that's how we met, was on Face Off, so it really became a family show. But that's when the light bulb clicked for me, because when my soap opera went down, I didn't have a backup plan. That kind of freaked me out. I thought, wait a second, I'm on a makeup show with a makeup dad, a makeup family. Really stupid to not start a makeup line and continue on the family name. So I've been on QVC now for 8 years, continuing the Westmore name with Westmore Beauty. That has been my baby.
Wonderful. My gosh, what an incredibly enterprising woman you are, and history you have, and just wonderful to see you continuing this line of innovation and creativity and expertise and beauty and fun. And just wow, Michael Westmore sitting in the front row. I mean, we know that you're no dinosaur, sir. You are going strong.
Yes, he is. He's
Absolutely. And are we allowed to talk about the project? It's a non-union project. There's a wonderful documentary being made about the Westmore family and Michael Westmore, and I cannot wait to see it. It's just something that is going to be so eye-opening and enlightening, because we could never be who we are on screen if it weren't for you being who you are in real life, and your imagination, and how you've created so much of what we love. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie.
All right, so going on, Penelope, welcome.
Thanks.
And I guess I just want to ask you, so you're from Australia?
I am.
And, yes, right? Beautiful country. Tell us about coming over and your adventure in that. I know that it's tough enough being an American and landing in LA. If you can, to whatever extent you can tell us specifics, tell us.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I wish I could say that it was some kind of preconceived idea from when I was younger, but I was supposed to be a lawyer, and then I kind of got to college and I started my undergrad, and I realized I was really sensitive. Like, I couldn't quite function in that environment. It was kind of a bit of a dudes club, and also luckily the first day I showed up in college, there was a Shakespeare group that recruited me, and I remember I'd been a ballerina before that, and then I became fiercely academic, and I stepped on stage and I was like, shit, I think this is what I'm supposed to do. So I don't really remember too much. It was a bit of a haze. I kind of went to school, finished my undergrad, went to drama school, tried to understand like the fundamentals of the lineage, and then got on a plane and showed up with like $100, and slept on someone's couch, and then ended up landing a role on a TV show, which was kind of, in retrospect, kind of insane, and I was very lucky, and I think that was kind of it. I just stayed and followed my intuition and met some people and had some ups and downs and got to know myself in a pretty real way, alone on the other side of the world. My mom's actually French, which makes sense in context of the show as well, so that's like the other part of my lineage. But yeah, and I've been really lucky to fall into these beautiful communities of embracing sensitive, complex human beings, and I feel like fundamentally we're all just trying to figure out what this life is and what we're supposed to do in these meat bodies that we were born into. So yeah, that's kind of the trip I'm on.
Yeah, that's really cool and really brave.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. So many people don't follow dreams, and I think you're a really wonderful living example. All of you, really, all of us, damn it, we are. And I hope that you guys know that you are too, examples in so many ways. And I just love that your story involves, like I said, the courage that you did this.
I'm grateful that we have this community. You guys are so amazing, by the way.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
I'm just kind of still in shock. I feel like a little shy because I feel like I just like fell into this pool of family, and yeah, thank you for having me, guys.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Can we all up here agree that it's so much better than we ever dreamed? Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, Hana.
Hey.
Hi. We have known you since when as well? My goodness.
I was 4 years old.
4.
Yeah, so I'm sure many of you have watched me grow up and know more about my childhood than I do.
Wow. That's so lovely. Again, your sweetness has always just been a really wonderful part of our community.
Well, with such an amazing community, it's hard not to genuinely be sweet and loving and just caring towards people who are the same.
Yeah.
You know, it's just...
Yeah. And people who are different.
Everybody's
Because,
different.
right. Sorry to jump in.
That's okay.
So you are working in other fields of creativity as well, and you are an interior designer.
Yes, so I actually did my interior design studies online. It took me a little over a year and a half, but I graduated with a degree in interior design, and so I am officially up for hire. If anyone needs to redesign their home, hit me up. But it's really fun. I really enjoy it. studies, and there on out, I was like, this is the job for me, and I'm absolutely loving it. I would consider myself a minimalist, but with an industrial feel. But I am happy to do any kind of design that anybody wants. We can do Star Trek house. We can do anything you need. I got you.
Thank you. I made him up on that way from. All right. If anybody's got a question, come on down. And while you guys are coming here, I want you guys just like a quick, fairly rapid fire down the row. What is one dream that you have for coming here that's not TV or film related? It can be music or internet or something, but what's one dream? Anybody, actually not down the row, but yell it out, call it out.
Like I said before, I want to work on my confidence in the field of music and actually start putting myself out there in that way. Because imposter syndrome sucks, right, guys?
Yeah.
Like, we should all believe in ourselves and believe in our talents and believe in what we got. And so yeah, that's something I'm working on, and that's a new goal for me.
Lisa Briones, if anyone should be talented, it would be you.
It definitely is.
Really, I mean, confident. Could I just tell you one really quick thing on that, you guys? Because I think this is important. I went to an online mental health seminar, and it was a group of people talking about imposter syndrome. They were all psychologists from Harvard, Stanford, and Yale, talking about how they had imposter syndrome in their field. And it made me realize that everybody has it. We all have it. We all have it equally, I think. And it's okay. We can embrace it and go, yep, that's a thing everybody has, just like breathing, and I can work through it, right? So don't let it stop you. Okay.
Well, and to answer your question, Chase, my dream is to be as good a father to my daughter as Avery Brooks was for me.
Oh, beautiful. So beautiful, and that's pretty damn cool. Pretty good, and you guys are still in touch.
Still in touch, and he's doing well. Everybody who's concerned about how he is, he's doing well. He's fine. Just retired.
What a wonderful relationship. Yay. McKenzie.
I think for the coming year, just forging ahead and hopefully win 3 awards I'm nominated for QVC. You can go on my Instagram and vote. And actually to sing. I've been doing musical theater since I could walk, and so that's why I'm such a fan of yours. That's why I'm such a fan of yours.
That's really cool. All the best in that. Penelope.
Oh, can I pick 2?
Yes.
I'm gonna pick 2. One, in the vein of what you were speaking about with your family, one dream is that we will solidify some of these negotiations that are going on so that we can protect essential people that have been creating this beautiful stuff for years.
Yes.
That's definitely a big dream right now. The other thing that I'm really excited about, and the reason it's a dream is because it's a bit slippery. My husband and I have been working on this project in the Amazon in Colombia, transcribing some of the native music and some of the language that is being lost there. And they operate on their own unique sense of time in the jungle, as you appreciate. So things move around a lot, but that's a big dream we've been working on for a few years. So I really hope to see that materialize, and I want to share it with everybody. So.
Wow. I had no idea. Is there a website or anything for it yet?
We're still working on it. The guy who runs, so there's a place near Leticia, which is kind of on the border of Brazil and Peru, and everyone takes like 2 or 3 weeks, or sometimes 3 months, and there are about 10 people in this chain. So hopefully once it's kind of solidified, I'll tweet it out and you guys can check it out. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Yay. Hana?
Well, if we're talking about career-wise, I'm going to say for interior design, my dream is to just make everybody that I work with happy. Like, I want to make a space that makes them feel comfortable. We can collaborate on that. I want them to feel safe and happy, comfortable. Like,